Hello everyone. So now that we have understood the basic fundamentals behind the study of polynomials, let's go on and solve a problem and try to recall those concepts, right? So in this problem, we have to find the coefficients of all the terms in the polynomial px is equals to x cube minus 5x square minus 2x plus 24, right? We also have to find the degree of the polynomial and the value of the above polynomial, right? The value of the polynomial px at x is equals to 0. So there are three things that we have to find here, right? First is the coefficients of all the terms in the polynomial, right? Given polynomial. Second is the degree of the given polynomial, right? And the third thing that we have to find is the value of the given polynomial at x is equals to 0, right? So first let's start with finding the coefficients of all the terms in this polynomial, right? So the first thing that we'll figure out is the coefficient of all the terms in the polynomial. Now recall what we learned were the coefficients of any given polynomial. First, try to recall what are the terms of a polynomial, right? So in this polynomial, the value x cube, right? The value minus 5x square, the value minus 2x and the value plus 24. So now these different values are called the terms of the polynomial, right? And so what are the coefficients of the terms of the polynomial? Well, for the first case, for the first term, which is x cube, the coefficient of x cube is actually 1, right? The coefficient is 1. Coefficient is the value adjacent to the variable term, right? The second is minus 5x square, right? So minus 5, in the term minus 5x square, the coefficient is the value minus 5, right? X square is the variable squared 2 times or variable to the power of 2, right? So in this term minus 5x square, the coefficient is minus 5. In the third term, which is minus 2x, right? So in this term, the variable is x, right? And the coefficient of the variable is minus 2, right? So in the third term, the coefficient of the third term is minus 2. Now the fourth term is actually a constant term, right? There is no variable value in that particular term. So there is no value of the coefficient for that term. So now the 4 different terms, out of which 3 terms have a coefficient, right? X cube has the coefficient 1, minus 5x square has the coefficient minus 5 and the term minus 2x has the coefficient minus 2. So this is how we find the coefficients of all the terms of a given polynomial. Now let's move on to the second part of the question. In this part of the question, we have to find the degree of the polynomial, right? So we have to find the degree of the given polynomial px. Now recall what is the degree of a polynomial. Well, we know that the degree of a polynomial is actually the power of the highest degree term in the polynomial. So now in this given polynomial, find out which term is the highest degree term in the polynomial. Well, the term x cube is the highest degree term in the polynomial, right? In this term, the degree of the variable is 0, right? In the second term minus 2x, the degree of the variable is 1. In the term minus 5x square, the degree of the variable is 2, right? And in the last term, which is x cube, the degree of the variable is 3, right? So the highest degree term in the polynomial is x cube. Now, the degree of the polynomial is nothing but the power of the highest degree term, right? Which is 3 here, right? So the degree of this polynomial becomes 3. Why? Because the highest degree term in this polynomial is x cube, right? And the power of the variable in that term is 3. So the degree of the polynomial also becomes 3, right? So this is how we calculate the degree of any given polynomial, right? So the next thing that we have to calculate here is we have to calculate the value of the polynomial at x is equals to 0. Now recall how we calculate the value of any polynomial at any given value of x. Well, we just substitute the given value of x in the polynomial and we solve to find the value of the polynomial at that particular value of x, right? So let's go ahead and do that. So the value of the polynomial px at x is equals to 0 will become p0, right? So I can represent that particular value as p0. Now, if we substitute the value of x is equals to 0 into this polynomial, we get the first term as x cube, right? So which is 0 cube. The second term is minus 5x square, right? which is minus 5, 0 square. Right, the next term is minus 2x, which is minus 2 into 0. Right, and the last term is plus 24, which we'll write as it is, right, because there is no variable x there, so there is no value to substitute. Now if we solve this, we get the value of p0 as, so this term becomes 0, right, this term again becomes 0 because 5 into 0 is 0, right, this term again becomes 0, so the only term left is 24. So the value of the polynomial px is equals to x cube minus 5x square minus 2x plus 24 at x is equals to 0 becomes p0 is equals to 24. So this is how we calculate the value of any given polynomial at any given value of x. So we saw how we calculate the value of a given polynomial at any given value of x, right, or any given value of the variable. Now let's do a small recap and see all the things that we calculated. Right, so the first thing that we figured out in this polynomial was what are the coefficients of the terms of the polynomial, right? So the terms of the polynomial are x cube, minus 5x square, minus 2x and 24 also, right? But we have not listed on 24 because that is a constant term, right? So now the coefficients are just the values adjacent to the variable terms, right? So here for the term x cube, the coefficient is 1. For the term minus 5x square, the coefficient is minus 5, and for the term minus 2x, the coefficient is minus 2, right? Next we went on to calculate the degree of this polynomial. So the degree of this polynomial was given by the power of the highest degree term in the polynomial, right? So the highest degree term in the polynomial is x cube. So the degree of the polynomial becomes the power of x cube, right? Power of the variable in x cube, which is 3, right? The next thing that we saw is how we calculate the value of this polynomial at x is equals to 0, right? So we saw that we can represent that value as p0. And what we did was, in place of x in the given polynomial, we put the value x is equals to 0. And we calculated this, we evaluated this polynomial with x is equals to 0, and we found out that the value of p0 is 24. So these are the basic concepts which we should be aware of, right? What are the coefficients of a polynomial and how do we find the coefficients of a polynomial? What is the degree of a polynomial and how we calculate the value of a polynomial at any given value of the variable.